So lads, today we saw the official 2K26 covers and the official WNBA cover for NBA 2K26 is in a shock to nobody. In a shock to absolutely no.
So 2K26 dropped their WNBA cover, and in a surprise to absolutely no one, except maybe common sense, it wasn't Caitlin Clark. Nope, it was Angel Reese. And before anyone says, well that's cool, let's talk facts. Because if this decision doesn't make your blood boil, then you might not be paying attention.
The cover of the very popular NBA 2K, what is it, 2K26 now, something like that. This year chose Angel Reese. They put Angel Reese on the cover. Last year it was Asia Wilson, the MVP.
The WNBA just pulled another stunt that proves they'd rather play politics than elevate the one player single-handedly changing the game. On July 9th, 2025, NBA 2K officially announced Angel Reese as their WNBA cover athlete for NBA 2K26. And while Reese was out there flexing her Reebok signature shoe, the basketball world collectively face-palmed. Because the one person who deserved that honor, the woman who turned the WNBA into must-watch TV, was once again snubbed. That woman? Caitlin Clark. Clark didn't just have a good rookie year. She had the most transformative rookie campaign in league history. 66 of 67 votes for Rookie of the Year went to Clark. The one vote that didn't? You guessed it. Angel Reese. Clark averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. She broke the single-season assist record with 337 assists. You don't just ignore stats like that.
2K26 has chosen their WNBA cover athlete, and no, it is not Caitlin Clark, it is Angel Reese. Reese is facing criticism for slapping the clipboard out of her coach's hand in a tied game with 30 seconds left. Take a look.
But apparently the WNBA and 2K can. Let's be real here. If Clark had been named the 2K cover athlete, Angel Reese would have exploded. There would have been TikToks, tweets, and Instagram reels for weeks about how unfair life is. But when it's Angel getting the nod, suddenly it's all cheers and applause. The hypocrisy is louder than the crowd at a Clark Fever game. And speaking of crowds, Clark didn't just put up numbers on the court. She changed the game outside of it too. Fever games with Clark averaged over 16,000 fans. Non-Fever games? Barely 8,500. That's nearly double the attendance. ESPN viewership for Clark's games averaged 178 million compared to 394,000 for other games. That's a 199% spike. Even opposing teams benefited. Atlanta went from 3,300 to 17,500 fans when Clark came to town.
But I'd just like to say, can you imagine if Caitlin Clark got named the cover? Can you imagine the uproar and the outrage and just how much Angel Reese would be complaining about this? Like, we wouldn't hear the end of it. Every single interview, every Instagram, every TikTok.
Mystics? From 4,900 to over 20,000. This wasn't a local effect, it was nationwide. The Clark effect was, and is, very real. Let's not forget MVP voting either. Clark finished 4th overall, 6 third-place votes, 26 4th place, 22 5th place. That's 130 points total, ahead of multiple WNBA veterans. She's the first rookie to crack the MVP top 4 since 2013. Meanwhile, Reese got one single MVP vote. Yet she's the one on the cover? The math ain't mathing. And let's just say what everyone's thinking. This makes zero business sense. You've got the most popular athlete, the biggest ratings driver, and a player who's drawn national attention. And you pass her up? For what? Optics? Politics? Angel Reese is a talented athlete. Nobody's denying that. But Clark is the generational star. She's the Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods of women's basketball rolled into one Indiana-born bucket. Even Angel Reese fans know who's packing the arenas and drawing the cameras.
You literally have the most popular, transcendent, unbelievable player in Caitlin Clark, and you put Angel Reese on the cover. If Caitlin Clark was on the cover of NBA 2K20,
Caitlin Clark is selling out venues, breaking records, and dominating headlines. Yet for some reason, the WNBA and 2K keep sidelining her from the accolades she's earned. Asia Wilson being on the 2K25 cover. Totally deserved. She had one of the greatest seasons ever. Unanimous MVP. Record points, record rebounds. That made sense. But Angel Reese? This soon? Off what merit? Social media clout? Clark has done everything right. She's stayed humble, focused, professional, while Reese is out here slapping clipboards out of coaches' hands in crunch time. And let's talk stats again. Points per game? Clark. Assists? Clark. Rebounds? Reese. Barely. Field goal percentage? Clark again. In 3 of 4 key metrics, Clark's got the upper hand. And yet, not on the cover. Make it make sense. John Root said it best on Twitter. Why wouldn't you put the most impactful, transcendent, and popular women's basketball player of all time on the cover?
Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is not on the cover, obviously, and I haven't heard a single word from her. I haven't heard a single word about this. And if there is something out there that I haven't seen, that's her saying congratulations. Now, who the hell's going to be buying this, the WNBA
It's the
version?
question on everyone's mind. From a marketing perspective, this is a disaster. Caitlin Clark's name sells. Period. You want 2K copies flying off shelves? Put her face on the front, but instead, we get Angel Reese. Again, why? According to some sources, Clark thought the announcement was a prank, and honestly, that's a believable reaction. You dominate the league in every measurable way and still get snubbed? Feels like a joke, doesn't it? This isn't the first time Clark's been overlooked either. Let's rewind. Left off the Olympic team in 2024, snubbed in MVP voting, ignored for Player of the Month multiple times. There's a pattern here, and it's a dangerous one. Because no matter how much Clark does, how much she delivers, there's always a reason to pass her over. It's like the league is scared of her success. But why? She's not controversial, she's not a diva, she just shows up and balls out. That's the kind of athlete you build a league around. Instead, it feels like the WNBA's treating her like a problem to manage instead of a star to market.
I can't get over how dumb this decision is. So as NBA 2K has announced, the WNBA and tons of other sports media outlets, Angel Reese is the cover of NBA 2K26, the WNBA edition.
The numbers don't lie and the fans aren't blind. This wasn't a popularity contest. This wasn't about who has the flashiest TikTok. This was about who changed the game, and that's Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about the actual business here. NBA 2K isn't just a game, it's a platform. Being on the cover means more than box art. It means marketing campaigns, global exposure, crossover appeal. When you put someone on the cover, you're telling the world, this is the face of the sport. So what's the message here? That one decent season and a flashy image mean more than reshaping the league. Because that's what this feels like. Angel Reese has had a good rookie year, sure, but she hasn't transformed the sport the way Clark has. She hasn't filled arenas coast to coast. She hasn't made ESPN reschedule programming or forced teams to move games to bigger arenas. And let's be honest, Angel Reese's rise to fame started with Clark anyway. Their college rivalry built her brand.
This is your cover athlete? Watch this.
Matchup right here, Kiki Iriafen and Angel Reese, 2 all-stars. See who has the most will on this particular play.
And now she's reaping the rewards of that visibility while the actual driver of the hype, Clark, is watching from the sidelines. You could argue the WNBA is trying to balance the scales. Maybe they're trying to prevent it from becoming the Caitlin Clark League. But that's not how marketing works. You don't stifle your star. You build around them. You let their light shine so bright that everyone else gets illuminated by it. That's how dynasties are built. That's how fan bases grow. But instead, what we're seeing is an effort to water her down, to dull her shine. Why? What are they afraid of? Clark's presence isn't a threat to the league, it's a gift. And every decision to minimize her only pushes that gift further away. Even casual fans can see what's happening. This isn't just another player being overlooked. This is the WNBA refusing to capitalize on the biggest surge of popularity it has ever seen. It's the league choosing short-term appeasement over long-term growth.
I know exactly what Spike Lee is thinking. I don't know what metrics he's basing that decision off of to who's going to get the cover of NBA 2K26 other than like straight up gaslighting, to get attention, right?
And it's not just disappointing, it's infuriating. Look at the cultural impact. Clark isn't just moving numbers, she's changing minds. Young girls are picking up basketballs because of her. Networks are increasing coverage because of her. Brands are investing because of her. And yet she's still not seen as cover material? What more could she possibly do? Set herself on fire at half court? This decision sends a dangerous message, not just to Clark, but to every young athlete watching. It says that excellence doesn't matter, that record-breaking performance doesn't matter, that if you don't fit the narrative, you don't get the spotlight. It's a slap in the face to merit, a gut punch to progress. But let's get even more real. Clark's success helps everyone, Reese included. The WNBA's rising tide lifts all ships, and Caitlin Clark is the hurricane pushing that wave forward. Every time she steps on the court, she makes the league richer, more relevant, more watched. But instead of honoring that, the WNBA and 2K just keep trying to pretend she's not the centerpiece of this entire movement. It's like watching a team bench their MVP in the playoffs. Who does that? Who takes their most powerful tool and hides it in the drawer? Let's talk receipts. Viewership for girls 2 to 17 surged 181% when Clark entered the league.
Extra attention on the actual NBA 2K game. Maybe that's their game plan, because there's in no rational world should Angel Reese get the cover of 2K.
Viewers aged 18 to 34 jumped by over 50%. 400,000 people bought tickets to WNBA games in May 2024 alone, the most in over 2 decades. That's not coincidence. That's not random. That's Clark. Non-fever games grew too, 428,000 viewers compared to 301,000 the year before. A 40% increase. That's what you call a halo effect. That's what stars do. They lift everything around them. And Caitlin Clark is the biggest star the WNBA has ever had. But she's not on the cover.
Clark is the cover of NBA 2K26. I'm just kidding. It's actually Miss Me-Bound herself, Angel Reese. I don't know about you guys, but this makes my blood absolutely boil. Why? Because look at this.
Instead, we get someone who slapped a clipboard mid-game and averages fewer assists, fewer points, and barely more rebounds. It's not hate. It's reality. It's fact. And facts should matter. But apparently, marketing decisions now depend more on agenda than achievement. The truth is, fans aren't dumb. They see the manipulation, they see the politics, and while some will still support the game, many are becoming disillusioned. The people who came in because of Clark aren't going to stick around if they keep seeing her disrespected. You think putting Angel Reese on the cover is going to bring in a new audience? Be serious. Clark's the name trending. Clark's the one moving product. Clark's the one ESPN, Nike, and every other sponsor wants, but she's not the one on the cover. What a joke. Some even say this whole thing might be a marketing stunt, gaslighting the public just to create controversy. If that's true, it's pathetic. Using Clark as bait while denying her credit, that's exploitation, not strategy. And the backlash is already brewing. Sports analysts are sounding off. Fans are furious. Social media is lit up with confusion and rage. Everyone sees it for what it is, another missed opportunity.
In 3 of the 4 key stat categories, Caitlin Clark's beating Angel Reese. Like, look at this, okay? Points per game, Caitlin Clark. Assists per game, Caitlin Clark. Rebounds per game, barely Angel Reese, okay?